In my past, I made a lot of mistakes. In the age of Ascension, which is 13, I was asked what did I want from my spiritual gift by my mentor. Anybody close to me knows who my mentor is. Now, I always heard of the great wisdom of Solomon, and I always thought I was a bit naive and foolish as a child. And I didn't want to be that. I wanted to be wise and renowned and whatever. You know, normal childhood type of fantasies. So I asked for the wisdom of Solomon, so that I would be like Solomon. My mentor came back to me and suggested that I was choosing poorly, that it would be to my benefit to choose something more practical. I asked him what would be more practical than wisdom. It keep you from making foolish choices, foolish moves, and live your life wisely. What could be more what could be more better than that? He came back and said, in time I would learn that answer. And so began my walk into wizardry. Wizardry is the control of elemental forces. It is the control of all energy. It is unlike normal magic. Wizardry is the art of weaving power, not casting power. There's a difference, and that I won't teach. In doing so, you can take your thoughts, what you want, and bring it into a physical form. A wizard is the worst person in the world to tick off. But you won't find one. Not really. I mean, I've seen a bunch of wizards in my life, but that was in the Ku Klux Klan. And I'm not talking about that kind of wizard. And you'll have other people that are more visible, is the word. But they're not really wizards. The actual correct term for them is sorcerer. Maybe magician, although that has a taint of politics. Wizard is not the correct term. It would be sorcerer. And there's differences between the two, because a sorcerer casts spells, a wizard weaves spells. See my point? Well, maybe you don't, but a wizard weaves spells. But that's what happened was, and I'm taking you back into the ancient knowledge, wizardry began a very, very long time ago. It even began before the days of alchemy. Wizardry is the form of energy and manipulation. It was started by a man who was in, a family of basket weavers, a very prominent basket weavers at that. And he became more and more interested in science and went down that path. So wizardry is a form of science. Wizardry also is, by definition, using the Old English, a sage or philosopher, which is how they were always known. A wizard would never publicly admit who they are. Although I am saying don't be that. I'm not teaching. A wizard is truly a solitary creature. They travel alone. They want to be alone. They want nothing to do with the world. In a lot of ways, a wizard is very atheistic. They don't believe in all the little nonsense that you hear from the witches. They don't believe all the little nonsense you hear from the sorcerers. To a wizard, They are fools. To be nice. There's more derogatory ways of use. We don't meet. We don't gather. We are taught from master to apprentice. One master, one apprentice. That is the old way. The new way, no, not like that anymore. It's becoming more and more obvious. What's the point of this? I am what I say I am. I am whom I was. I was at the age of 42 before I learned all the truths that was kept from me. It has made me quite I don't know another way to phrase it. It made me quite hostile to the Protestant and Roman Catholics. The group, not the people. I don't look at a person and say, oh, you're Protestant, I can't stand you. Oh, you're Catholic. Yeah. No. Not the person, the group. So I don't think highly of those groups. I think of every single one of them as an occult. Or occult. Yeah, cult. As a cult, yeah. Try and get the right word out. Occult is behavior and cult is a group. So no, I don't really want anything to do with them as a group. You might say, well, yeah, come to my church, it'll be different. No, it's not. You are still preaching the same false doctrines. The same false doctrines that led me into sin. For if I knew, I would not have done. And if I would not have done, I would not have displeased my master. And I didn't know I was displeasing him. It's like a servant who does a job, thinks he's doing the right way and the right how, and doing everything just perfect as his master wishes, just to learn that he botched the whole thing up. Doesn't bode well. Now I have a master, I have to apologize to him for my lack of knowledge and my lack of performance. And that's who I was. That's who I was. So yes, I was a wizard. It is very private. The only reason I allowed it to be released, I even kept it from McGraw, was because she was being attacked by a mindless, nitwit, hateful, evil-mongering of a man. Because I wanted the man to leave her alone and come after me. And that's what I wanted. And if I have to face my disgrace in public, so be it. Better that I face my disgrace than my McGraw having sleepless nights. She means a lot. She means a lot. But that's who I was. I can't take back of what I was. I cannot undo what was done. For if I did, I would undo the first mistake. Not made by me, but made by one before. Long before. But I can't. I can't undo it. It's done. Always will be. So that's what being a wizard is. Facing your bad choices and learning from it. But I am a wizard. Always have been. Always will be. I just don't practice it anymore. It's like having a gun surgically attached to your arm. It's always there. And as far as people thinking, oh, if you're a Christian, you can't be this. Well, that's not exactly true either. I actually know several Christian witches. They're not exactly without sin, but if you go around sleeping around, having extramarital relationships, lying, stealing, cheating. What's the difference? None. They're all wrong. So one man's sin is no better than another's. It's all the same. The only thing we can do is abstain from that sin. And that is the best we can do. It's always there. It's like a murderer is always a murderer. He's already done it, or knows how. Can do it anytime he chooses, but by his deliberate act of not is what makes him Christian. Not giving in to the sin is what it is.